Hi, I'm Aaron Campbell. I teach at Euphonium at the University of Tampa, and today we're going to work on the A-flat scale together. Now, I will be giving examples for both 3-valve instruments and 4-valve instruments, so you're both going to be covered. I'm playing on a 4-valve instrument, so when we play the scale, you'll see me using 4-valve instrument fingerings. And also, my 4th valve is here on the side, not in line with the pinky, but if yours is with the pinky, that's okay too. The 4th valve fingerings will still work for you for this scale. So let's get into it. The A-flat scale, just like your scale sheet says, starts on A-flat, which we play 1st valve. Then it goes to B-flat, which is open. Then C, which is our only variant between 3-valve and 4-valve instruments in this scale. If you're playing a 3-valve instrument, you're going to do it 1 and 3. But if you're playing it with a 4-valve instrument, I'd like you to go ahead and use that 4th valve. It'll sound better and be a little bit more in tune than the 1 and 3 combo. Then we move to D-flat with the 2 and 3, E-flat with the 1st valve, F open, G 1 and 2, A-flat 1st valve. Now I've got my metronome with me and I want to try playing up the scale in whole notes. So I'm going to set the metronome to 60, I'm going to give it 4 clicks, and then we're going to play. So now that we've gone successfully up the scale, let's try and come down the scale and go backwards. So we're still starting on that 1st valve A-flat. Then we drop down to G 1 and 2, F open, E-flat 1st valve, D-flat 2 and 3, C, again, you can either play 1 or 3 or 4th valve, B-flat open, and A-flat 1st valve. Let's try it again with our metronome going at 60 and doing whole notes. Now, once you can successfully go up and down the scale, and we've got that going, then we're going to add the next part that we want to learn, the arpeggio. So arpeggios outline all of the notes in a major chord. And we like to work on them because unlike guitars and pianos that can play the whole major chord, we can only play one note at a time, so we move through them a lot. So we're going to work on arpeggio while we work on our scales. So the arpeggio still starts on 1st valve A-flat, moves to C, the 3rd note of the scale, which we're going to play 1 and 3 or 4, moves to the 5th note of the scale, E-flat 1st valve, and then up to the octave A-flat 1st valve. Now, just like we did with the scale, let's practice going up the arpeggio in whole notes. And then coming down the arpeggio, same notes, just in reverse order. A-flat 1st valve, E-flat 1st valve, C 1 and 3 or 4th valve, A-flat 1st valve. Let's come down now with our metronome. So now that we can do all of that, we're going to put it all together and we're going to work on playing the AllState pattern of the scale. Now, in the AllState pattern, you want to articulate going up, slur coming down through the scale, and then do the same thing through the arpeggio, articulate going up the arpeggio and come down. We're going to start with our metronome still at 60, and what we're going to do to make it a little bit easy and get used to the new pattern, we're going to start with a half note on the A flat, and then every note after that is going to be quarter notes until we land on the top A flat. Then we're going to play a half note again, come down in quarter notes, but we're slurring because we're coming down the scale. A flat, half note, play the arpeggio, articulate it up, half note on the A flat, and then slur coming down, half note on the A flat again. Every time you play an A flat, essentially, you're going to play a half note. Now, before we get into playing the AllState pattern, let's give it a shot at singing the notes and fingering along to our metronome, just to kind of get used to what our brain's going to be doing while we play. A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, A flat, G, F, E flat, D flat, C, B flat, A flat, C, E flat, A flat, E flat, C, A flat. So we're still at 60, you're gonna get 4 beats. Don't forget to articulate up and slur down. Now, as you're working on the scale, I want you to keep in mind that we are articulating up, but we're not bopping it up. We do want to make sure that it's detached, but we don't want to kind of spit at it. We don't want to make the note so short that it sounds like you're spitting out sunflower seeds. We want to keep it musical and still regularly articulate, no matter how fast we end up going. So after you practice that for a little bit, and you can go ahead and rewind the video and keep practicing with it if you want to go ahead and do that. But we're going to move on. We're going to move it to 80 beats and work on playing it just a little bit faster. Now that I've got 80 good, I'm going to push myself a little bit more and we're going to do it at 100. So now that we're getting faster, we want to make sure that our articulation is still musical and we're not cutting the note too short. And the other pro tip for euphonium, especially you 4-valve euphonium players, consider actually playing the arpeggio up with the 1 and 3 combo as opposed to switching to 4. A lot of times when we start getting the scale a little bit faster, it can be kind of sloppy to switch from one index finger to a pinky or one index finger to another index finger. What we can do if we do that 1 and 3 combination is we just kind of get to lay this down. And yes, you're going to sacrifice some intonation, but if the scale is going so fast, you might not notice it quite as much, and the speed might be more important, or the ease of creating the speed might be more important than the intonation in that instance. So I would consider it. It's your choice in the end, but it's something that I do when I play the arpeggio. Let's try it now, half note and quarter notes at 120. Now, we've been doing half note and quarter notes, but a lot of times the AllState pattern is actually written in quarter and eighth notes. But here's the good news, we've already kind of been playing with quarter and eighth notes now that we're kind of going this fast. So if I take that 120 that we were doing and cut it into half, it becomes 60. And so we're gonna play the scale at the same pace we just played it, but now it's going to feel to us like quarter and eighth notes. Now, you remember how when we first learned the AllState pattern, we sang with it just to make sure that we had that going as well? Let's go ahead and do that well with this new rhythm to get used to it before we play it. A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, A flat, G, F, E flat, D flat, C, B flat, A flat, C, E flat, A flat, E flat, C, A flat. Woo! But I guarantee you, if you can sing it, I bet you can play it as well. So now that you've got it down at 60 with a quarter and eighth note, you're prepared to just get the scale a little bit faster. So good luck on memorizing your scales, and thank you so much for practicing with me.